hear the phrase never again, I feel it's something that we just tell ourselves, a hope, a beacon of hope, but nothing that we actually act on. Because never again will happen unless we protect ourselves. No one else will protect us.
I feel like a deep connection to my ancestors. I remember the videos of like atrocities of the Holocaust that I've seen. And I just think back to that time and like the pain that the Jews felt during that time, and it's really empowering.
It makes me emotional, but also empowered. It makes me emotional as it reminds me of my grandparents and their relatives, and it reminds me of the hardship that they went through. But it also makes me feel empowered because I'm empowered to act to make sure that this suffering never happens again to anyone else.
I feel empowered, I feel determined, and I feel almost an obligation, for my ancestors. As a Jew, as honestly just a human, never again means so much in reference to just the history of persecution of my people.
The first thing I think of is my grandparents and my great-grandparents because they survived the Holocaust. My grandmother both my grandmothers actually escaped on a train from Ukraine out of Kiev. My great-grandmother, her family was ratted out to the Nazis by their sympathizer neighbor, and they were all slaughtered in most likely the Babi Yar massacre. So I think of my heritage as a Soviet Ukrainian Jew.
After the Holocaust, we said never again, never again, never again, but it's happened again. I think finally we're seeing that we have to start taking action. We have to start fighting for ourselves no matter what anyone else thinks, and that Israel is in danger and we need to fight for it because it's the only place that will accept us if something happens.
I do think it has changed in the meeting. I think that the world has realized a little bit that never again isn't just a saying that people say. It actually means something, and it's something that you have to do, not just say.
I think it has, never again before it was just like never again will we let this war happen or something. I feel like now never again is like you will never again let the Israeli people like that get taken hostage and be away from their family for almost 2 years.
But personally for me, it really hasn't, but I know the words never again have really been put out in a way that's very misleading, or they've been twisted in some way for the media or for other people.
I think it's the same sort of meaning, which is we will never let this happen again, but I feel like we failed in our mission on October 7th to do so.
Absolutely. I think that never again is such an incredible phrase because it's always changing as history moves on. It started with the Holocaust, of course, but I think the reason why it's become such a slogan, the reason why it's become such a staple is that it's such a versatile phrase. It evolves with time. Never again for the Holocaust now means never again for October 7th, now means never again for, God forbid, whatever the next atrocity may be that we will get through.
No, I don't think a new phrase should be necessary. I think its meaning still holds really strong and can be applied to October 7th because it's a massacre of Jews, and that's where the phrase comes from.
I think never again still always fits because it's a really short phrase and it fits in every scenario. It means never again will let so many hostages be taken, but also never again will we let Hamas do what they have done on October 7th.
I can't think of a better phrase at the moment, but I think never again still has a meaning.
I definitely think that a new phrase might be necessary. I feel like never again it's a very passive phrase because never again can refer to many different things.
Perhaps. I think that it doesn't mean that never again has gone out of style in a way. I don't think it ever will, and although other slogans may be adopted, although some may be applied specifically for October 7th, specifically for other things, I don't think never again will ever lose its significance.
I think whether you retire a phrase, make a new one doesn't change. I think it's the action. It's what we do, and it's what we do to protect ourselves. I think whether or not we have one phrase or another, it doesn't matter. It matters how our safety matters, of the Jews' safety, and that the state of Israel is still the Jewish homeland and it's a Jewish state.
I don't think so. I think it's still applicable. Yes, other phrases could be created, but I think it's still strong and its meaning still stands.
I think it's a difficult question to answer. It needs to evolve into a modern lens. It's now time for people to associate it with October 7th, what's been happening to the Jews since the Holocaust.
I think for a very long time people have been a little more comfortable with just saying never again, but they don't really understand like the meaning of it. People have kind of forgotten. There's not that many Holocaust survivors left, so I think that the necessity of the state of Israel is to make sure that never again does mean something and that we do fight for never again.
It shows how much the Jewish people really need Israel, because Israel is the embodiment of never again. It was, well, one of the reasons of its creation was to protect the Jews of the world from another Holocaust.
I think that never again is inherently tied to Israel because Israel is the most powerful response we have and the most powerful action that we've put into place to ensure that what never again promises truly means that, because Israel is the greatest beacon of safety for Jews across the world. I don't think a phrase like never again can ever be truly fulfilled without the safety that Israel brings, without a Jewish homeland, without a place where any Jew across the world can go to be safe.
We need to learn from history that this can never happen again.